So, you have a laptop computer, maybe a dozen years old, maybe 10, maybe 5. And one day, without any warning, it just won't start. It's still plugged into the same AC power source as always. Nothing's changed. It just won't start. Time to get a new one, right? Maybe, maybe not. What should be considered? This will be a short talking head video. If you have a computer that's given good service for 5 years or more, you might feel you've already gotten your money out of it. What's your investment cost you? You purchased it for $600, say 5 years ago, that'd be about $10 a month. Figure it from there. So you might not think twice about just adding this computer to the world's e-waste problem and just get a new one. But that's not me. I want to know why it isn't working. And I want to know if it can be restarted and still be useful. So, if we can fix the problem, let's do that. The guys at the 501c3 reported to me that this computer was down. I said I'd take it to my workshop and see what I could learn. They asked, what about timing? This particular machine is used once a week for AV purposes. Would it be back for next time? Well, we had workarounds if it wasn't. So let's figure it out. I had a suspicion what the problem might be before even starting to work. Maybe you already do too. The first question asked when you call tech support often is it plugged in? There are memes out there. And they reported, yes, it was plugged in, and the power strip was supplying good power to the machine and other things that were also plugged into it. With laptop power, there are several points of possible failure. Is the outlet good and on? Is the cord from the outlet to the AC power adapter good? Is the power adapter good? What about the connection at the computer? Is power actually being delivered to the computer? Well, I brought it to the shop, I plugged it in, and plugged the power supply into the computer and opened it up, and sure enough, same experience. No response when the power button is pressed. Again, I know my outlet is good because I have other items plugged into the same circuit and even into that same duplex. And the power adapter all appears to be good, nothing worn or anything on it. I can come back to it if I want, but there's something else I want to try first. I unplug the adapter from the computer. I wait a few seconds. I press and hold the power button with the PSU unplugged. No result at all, just as I expected. I plug the adapter back into the computer, and I press and hold again, just for a couple of seconds, and it starts. Do you know what the problem is yet? With every step, I'm becoming more certain that my initial guess was right. How old is this laptop? About 12 years. Has the battery ever been replaced? No. Then maybe it's the battery. Within Windows, information about the battery on this laptop is inadequate, to say the least. It doesn't diagnose any issues, at least not on this HP machine. On some of my Dells, I've had more information from within the operating system, but that might have been an app from Dell, I don't really remember right now, running within the Windows environment. These days, I'm not usually working with Windows, except in situations like this. But I do know that my Dells also have had diagnostics at the startup screen, or you can access the UEFI or BIOS bootstrapping system. So I thought this HP might as well. A little quick checking, and sure enough, yes, it does. So restart the machine and press repeatedly or hold the escape key while it reboots. That's the process for this HP. Now, your key may be different, and on Dells, you might need F2 or some other key, but you get a startup menu. And one of the options is troubleshooting, system diagnostics, something like that. Selecting that option, you get another menu. Check the memory, check the battery, etc. Well, I told it to check the battery. It's about a 2-minute process. Fairly promptly, it reports that cell 4 of 4 in this battery has failed. It's a bad battery. So now I have a choice. Do I try to find a battery for it? Or just remove the battery and just work from AC without having battery backup? Or do I replace the computer? HP no longer has batteries for this machine. Batteries from reputable suppliers, third party, including Duracell, are under $100. One I chose to order was $45. And I ordered 2 other batteries with it, and these were needed for other laptops that I also service. And so I had a qualifying order for a free upgrade on shipping. They'll all be here within less than a week. So this computer will be back in place in time for its next scheduled use. And it is still very serviceable for the purposes of the 501c3 that uses it. And I'll take the old battery to a battery recycler. But what if I had not gotten it to start in order to run the diagnostics? Or if it had not been the battery, what then? Well, if I could have reached that diagnostic menu, I could have run complete diagnostics on it. So that's one possibility. But if I couldn't even get that far, I could have checked the power supply unit with a voltmeter to see if it was delivering any voltage to the plug. If it is, then that's okay. And then I could have opened the case and checked the switch. Those are the most likely options so far. But if those are all okay, what then? Well, I'd probably go next to just pulling the memory and pulling the hard drive and see what happens then. These are in increasing order of unlikelihood, but they're possibilities. But given a proven battery failure, you tell me, what would have been your choice? Just live without the battery? Go ahead and buy a new one? Or just toss the laptop after pulling the hard drive and get a new one? Let me know in the comments below what your choice would have been. I'm Geezer Geek, Dave if you like, and this channel is all about things that you can do with tech. I deal with both hardware and software questions, and though I have been delayed quite a while, I will be back with a conclusion on that Dell Rehab series. I promise.